In this video, we're going to model the process of contract approval. First, let's define who is going to approve the document. To do that, let's open the app menu and select Groups and Roles. We'll create a new group, Contract Approvers. Let's select the participants and leave all the other options as default. Now let's create a process associated with the Contracts app. We need to open the app menu and select Business Processes. Let's add a new process and name it Contract Approval. The parent category is the app that the process is associated with. In our case, it will be Contracts. Let's start creating the route by adding the employees who are going to take part in the process. In the flowchart, they are represented by swim lanes. The initiator swim lane is created by default. It registers the user who starts the process. Let's add a static swim lane and select the Contract Approvers group that we created. Other participants of the process will be the CEO, who signs contracts, and the CCO, who views them afterwards. Let's start the process with the approval by dragging the approval activity to the flowchart. This type of task always has two buttons, Approve and Reject. Let's open the activities settings. We'll name the activity Approval. Let's also name the task that the approvers will get. The name can include variables. We can add the contract variable that stores the name of the contract that is being processed. Now it will be shown in the task name. Next, we need to select the process context variable that stores the document. Note that when a business process is created from an app menu, a variable that links the process with the app is automatically added to the context. In our case, it is the contract variable. As we selected a group of users in the swim lane settings, not one user, we can now configure the approval type. Let's choose Parallel. This means that the task will be assigned to all users in the group at the same time. The tick in the notification field means that the employees will get a message that they are assigned this task in the activity stream. Now we'll open the Deadline tab and check the Set a Deadline for the task box. Let's type 1 day as the due date. Let's check the box in the notification field and select the current user and the initiator context variable. They will be notified if the task is overdue. Now we have to save the changes. Let's add the End Approval activity. This activity registers the final decision on the document. This allows the user to see the current status of the approval on the App Items view form before the business process ends. Let's open the Activities settings, give it a name, select the approval object and the decision. Now we can save the activity. Let's open the Connector settings, name it Approve, and add a condition. The approval percentage has to be 100. This means that the document will be approved only if all the specified employees approve it. If the document is rejected, it has to be reflected in the Approval Sheets section 2. So let's add one more End Approval activity. This time, let's select Rejected as the decision. We need to make Reject the default connector. Now the process will go down this route if the condition for the Approve connector is not met. After rejection, the contract needs to be revised. To arrange for that, Let's add a task activity to the initiator swim lane and call the task Revise and Correct the Contract. We can leave the default settings here. Let's add the contract field to the task form. Now let's add the CEO's task to sign the contract. You'll learn to use a digital signature to sign documents in the next video. For now, let's configure the routes that the process will take after the contract is signed or declined. First, let's add the Send Document App Item activity to the CCO swim lane. This user will be assigned a task to view the contract with the Informed button on the task form. When the user clicks this button, the process will continue. Let's name the activity, select the item to send, and save the form. Now we'll add connectors. Let's open the Sign Activity settings, specify the name, the type of the document, and the transitions. Let's also configure the automatic change of document statuses. We've already created the statuses. Now we need to add the Manage Status activity. Let's select the variable and the status it will get. Let's configure other activities the same way and add connectors. Now let's open the Statuses tab and disable Manual Status Change. Now the documents will move across the Kanban board automatically as the business process is executed. Let's drag an end event to the flowchart, add a connector, and publish the process. Now let's see how the process works. An employee creates a new contract, uploads a file, and fills out the contract's parameters. As we created the process from the app, it is linked with the Save button on the contract creation form. The process starts and the contract begins to move down the route. The document statuses and the approval statuses will change along the way. The employees responsible for the approval get the task to approve the contract. When it is approved, the app item gets the approved status and an entry appears in the approval sheet. Then the CEO gets the task to sign the contract. After the document is signed, a section containing all the information on signing will appear on the Documents View form. Then the document is sent for information to the CCO. After that, the process ends. So, we've configured the process of approving a contract. Later on, using other Elma 365 capabilities, you will create more detailed and complex business processes to optimize your company's performance.